Well, thank you, Euron. Really appreciate that. Next but not least, from Fresh Tape Media, we have Jared Kleinstein talking about social media and the future of video content in sports. Jared? Look at it up.
How you doing?
Oh, you got them.
How are y'all? I'm Jared. I live in Denver. I graduated from Olin in '09, marketing and entrepreneurship major. I'm going to talk about social media and video content, two things I'm super passionate about. So how many of you guys follow sports teams on social media? That's the stupidest question I could have asked today. Great. So what I'm going to talk is big picture, the landscape of social media and video content, specifically within sports. On the smaller side, I'm going to talk about my personal experience starting a business and then why our business is important, especially considering the industry I'm in, I would say, is shrinking and there's a ton of competition. So I'm going to start just by talking about my personal journey. This quote means a lot to me. And my mom said it supposedly. So I've always loved sports. Like a lot of you, growing up, I was a sports fan. I was in Denver. The Broncos, Avs, Nuggets, and Rockies were my big passions. So when I got to WashU, I thought I'd bring that to the court itself. However, I was better at Photoshop than I was at basketball. So that's Sean, who's going to speak later today. He's back there. And I am that guy. So passionate attendee of the games. This is Sean and I after we won our first of two national championships. This was a special picture for me because this day was the first time I ever got a credential to go to a game. So I got to be on the court where all the other fans were just drunk in the stands. I was on the court. And that was the coolest thing to me, and it's what got me really passionate about being in sports media. I hosted a show on WooTV called The Best Cold Pizza Around the Interruption Period that maybe 6 people watched. What I learned from that, I had a Fox Sports internship in high school, so I had sports experience. I was passionate about sports, and I didn't really have that many connections, but you'd think I'd work in sports, right? So out of college, I got a job because of this woman at StreetEasy, a real estate company. So that was cool. The best thing about StreetEasy, we got really soft T-shirts. We've changed the New York real estate market, and that's the founder of Chobani. We just look alike. That's the only reason that picture is in this. So I ran all of our biz dev and partnerships from the time there were 6 of us to 40 when we got acquired by Zillow in 2013. And after that acquisition, before the acquisition, when I was at StreetEasy, I did what all of us do, which is drink and take pictures and put them on social media. So in 2011, I got drunk, took a picture with my friends pretending to be Tim Tebow. It got 11 likes on Facebook, which is why I thought, still in a drunken stupor, this is a business opportunity. So I bought the domain tbowing.com for $10. I don't know if y'all are too young for this, but it was really cool. Within 2 days of that experience, I was on every major news network. The Wall Street Journal interviewed me. It was just a crazy experience. And because of that, I learned a lesson. And the lesson I learned is if you have an idea and the ability to execute on that idea, do it, even if it's a bit absurd. Actually, especially if it's a bit absurd. So this is a dude named Feldman. When I was done working at Zillow, he said, hey, you should work with me at Vine. So he got me a job there. So I don't know if you guys used Vine back in the day. It was a great, great product. So I had a 2.5-year stint at Twitter and Vine, which taught me a lesson again. You don't need to apply for jobs to get jobs. A lot of you guys have great cover letter writing skills and great resumes. I've never got a job off of a resume in my life. Everything I've done has been through connections like that guy and the lady I showed before. So through that job, I got to have my dream, which is convince athletes to make stupid videos. So this is normally their facial expression when I try to tell them to do something. So this was a great experience for me for learning about the sports video market and then getting to work with leagues and teams and broadcasters around the world. So it looks glamorous, right? Like, look at me with DJ Khaled. It's got to be really beautiful. It's not always glamorous. This is not me humble bragging that I took a video with Steph Curry. You'll notice my facial expression. because Steph Curry and I were making shoe videos in a bathroom. DeMarcus Cousins was at the urinal 6 feet away when this was shot. So it's not always glamorous, but we make cool stuff happen. So unfortunately, Vine died. Rest in peace. But it provided new opportunities. I decided when Vine shut down that I would continue following sort of my passions and continue to work with athletes, teams, broadcasters, and leagues to make unique social video content, and that is what Fresh Tape Media does. Sometimes athletes listen to us, sometimes they don't. This is a great example of when they try to ruin our sets. It didn't break. It was great. So before we get into the president of my company, I want to look into the past, particularly of the industry itself, of video content on social media. So a couple years ago, you guys were watching on your TVs, and it was great, and Twitter was where we said that we were at a coffee shop. And that's changed. But at that time, all these leagues and the broadcasters were happy. They were making tons of money, and there was no phone content with sports stuff on it. So they were stoked, and that's the emoji to show that feeling. The content changed. As our cameras got stronger phones, the phones got stronger cameras. First, people started recording their TVs, and this is how we would show highlights to our friends on social media. Then there became this big trend to show behind the scenes. How, with a camera phone, can I show a unique angle that people haven't normally seen on broadcast? Then there's this unique POV, people with their phones on the sidelines capturing amazing moments. So this really upset the broadcasters and leagues. They were okay with this, and that they were kind of on the fence about, because on the back of the ticket it would sometimes say, do not record this, it's our content. So since that, things have evolved. Now people rip highlights. So they put their own highlights that are high quality. This upset the leagues and broadcasters. So they were like, you know what, we should probably publish our own stuff. So now the leagues and teams publish their own highlight content. And when they realized there was a market for this, they started investing more in making that highlight content special. So broadcasters and media organizations like Bleacher Report will have fun with their highlights. They will, I think I'm a little far from my, eventually, there we go. And like objectively, that's an even more fun way to watch that LeBron highlight, and you want to watch it again, and it's still fun like years later, versus that dunk is just another dunk. Then pop culture parodies came in with people that know how to edit in After Effects. So you had Neymar rolling forever and continuing to roll down the highway. So this is, as again, the market for editors. Like anybody can now edit. They can go into After Effects and Premiere and edit, right? Not always this well, but what people also can do now is almost anybody can be a talented shooter. I should not talk while this is playing. So the big trend in sports video has been hype videos, as in colleges have talented videographer interns that can shoot content, capture things with DSLRs that are broadcast quality but with like a social twist. And then you see a lot of investment recently in evergreen reaction GIFs. So when somebody is posting something on Twitter to celebrate an event, they'll get, instead of just tweeting, "Great job, Chloe," they'll show this Chloe Kim GIF that we made of her saying "no way." So the lesson is, from all that content that I showed you in that journey, whatever content is upsetting large organizations right now will be adopted by them in 2 years. So the highlights that they refused to post on social, now they all post. The edited highlights that are a bit goofy and fun, they used to refuse to post, now they post them. Oops, one sec, skipped one. So highlights are still king on social media, but every league has different policies. The NBA considers their highlights marketing, so any of us can publish NBA highlights without risking the content getting taken down. MLB, somewhat tougher on highlights. They may get mad if you post something, versus the Premier League, if you post something, you're going to get a DMCA takedown violation. People are going to be upset. So The current state is that the large media organizations are setting a more open standard. Any of you guys follow Bleacher Report on social media? Yeah? They'll use pop culture clips. They'll use music. They'll use a lot of things that like a lawyer 2 years ago or 3 years ago would say like, I don't know if that's a good idea. But now these big organizations are doing it, so it's establishing a baseline that anybody else can do it. Machine learning and AI has made content creation smarter than ever. Has anybody ever heard of a company called WSC? You have. It's the coolest thing ever. The NBA can, in a span of 5 seconds, say, I want to have all the three-pointers shot by Steph Curry in the third quarter of games against Denver in 2018, and they have a highlight like that clip. So if you ever see a cut, there was no guy in a room like looking for footage. It's instantaneous. So now organizations are staffed specifically for social media content. If you think, like 5 years ago, people would say your social media guy is probably the intern. Now there's bigger video teams dedicated to social media than ever. The editing styles are often driven by college teams, and the attention spans, yes, are still as short as people have been saying they are. So what do fans want? People want relatable content. They want to feel nostalgia. You may have seen like the Browns made a The Office parody recently, right? People love seeing that. They love laughing. They love seeing player personality, which is really important to the leagues too. Short form and GIFs are huge. People love seeing vertical content. The numbers on Instagram stories versus the Instagram feed are unbelievable. And then cross sport. People want to see Odell Beckham playing basketball with LeBron. So that's where my team comes in. So Fresh Tape, I launched in January 2017. We're kind of this crossbreed between an agency, a studio, and a production company. And this is because a lot of the people we work with, leagues and teams, they're used to working with a big agency that comes to them with ideas, and then they go to a production company separately that then gives their perspectives, and they may hire a whole crew to do the shooting for something. We do it all, and we're much leaner and smaller. We're based in Denver, mainly video content, though we do some design work as well. Main use case is social media, and then within sports is our primary focus, though we do stuff for award shows and other entertainment. And it's a small group in Denver, there's 3 of us, and we have about 35 creators that are based around the country that do editing, design, and so on. So this is who we work with. We have deals with every major league except the NHL. And we work, our biggest client that we do the most work is probably Twitter and Turner. So we do a lot of really cool content with all these people. We go to all-star games and we build sets and we do really unique videos. This is some stuff we did a couple months ago for the MLB All-Star. We did sort of a promotional video for MLS All-Star to introduce the starters. So this was some fun stuff to shoot. Then we go to award shows, and one thing we've learned is that if you're going to make a player make a video, oftentimes it has to not just be a cool deliverable. You want them to show up at a set that's cool. So we did something for the NFL Honors where we had players looking like they were inside of a snow globe. Like, whoa, wait, what? Did that loop perfectly? That's really cool. And then we've also worked with gaming folks. So this is a video from somebody at the Fortnite tournament. This got seen like 2.5 million times. Our best engagement across all sports in the last couple months was on our gaming content. We do just evergreen GIFs that people can use on social as reactions. So Kirk Cousins, there's so many use cases for that subtle celebration. Especially when you just made hundreds of millions of dollars in a new contract. Or, that's wet being a little more sports specific. We also do commercials. We did this MLB's opening day commercial for this year. This is just a clip of it, of the best player in the world, Nolan Arenado. Oftentimes we are doing this really intense, cool video content, and then sometimes we have a little more fun with it. So this is a video that was released yesterday.
Ah, yes, the cardinal, a gorgeous bird whose elegance is only rivaled by its majesty. Meanwhile, the ram is the favorite animal of people who drive slowly in the left lane. This beautiful red bird features a distinctive and beautiful crest in his head, while the ram's horn looks like the inside of a months-old cinnamon roll. Exquisite.
So this is a different way to promote that you're playing the Rams. And this is our take on it that the Cardinals published yesterday. So the lesson learned, from this is that what was cool 2 months ago isn't always cool today. While we like doing that hype stuff, you never know if people are going to want to see a 1980s National Geographic spoof. So challenges in starting a business, there are a lot. There's a lot of competition, and a lot of production companies are really good. I can't tell you that our shooters are the best in the world, because there's people a couple miles from us in Denver that are extremely talented graphic editors. Our clients are realizing the value of what we do, so they're getting their own resources. Like teams now have so many After Effects editors, they may have farmed it all out a couple years ago, now they don't need to. It's cheaper than ever to make great video content because of what our phones can do, what cameras cost. The internet is ruthless. So like, if we post that Cardinals video, there's gonna be like 8 comments that say like cringe and whatever kids say. And internally, running a business is hard. You're constantly trying to figure out, especially in the agency world, how much money you should put towards spec content to get new business versus working on the deliverables you owe to your existing clients. So we're able to pull it off because we have a cool team. We have really low overhead. I think we spend more money on my dog's food than we do on our office. We're consistently good. We provide as much value as possible, and we try to over-deliver for our clients. We're weird, and we come up with weird concepts, and people trust us. It's all about relationships. All of our clients are people I used to work with when I was at Twitter. I think of our clients as friends first and clients second. So what's next in the industry and for us? Gaming. That's a dude named Ninja. If you know Ninja, he makes way more money than anybody I know, and he's just kind of a dweeb. But gaming is the future. Oh God, that's being recorded, isn't it? The rise of the secondary account. This is a really cool thing. A lot of sports leagues have realized that they need to have a fun brand that's maybe outside of their company logo. So you'll notice golf has Scratch, NFL has the check down, MLB has Cut 4. It gives them a little bit more liberal opportunities to publish some goofier stuff that maybe makes fun of their sports. Team empowerment, as leagues have more ability to, as leagues give their teams more ability to publish highlight content, the teams are going to get even more creative with it. Player distribution is huge. The NFL has so many followers, but the combination of all their players combined is a ton times more than that. So what people like the NFL will do is they will provide content for their players to publish for free, and it really helps them distribute and expand their brands. Players are going to start monetizing their content on social more often, and the VIA share is going to change. I don't know if you guys feel this way. You'll be looking, you'll see like the Kaepernick commercial last week. It'll be published by every channel you follow on social, and they'll all say via Kaepernick 7 or via Nike, and all the networks are going to do systems more like YouTube for content ID so that people can monetize their content even if other people steal it. So the last thing is evolution of live. I worked on the MLS Live project last year for Facebook, and I watched the Facebook broadcast of the Rockies versus Diamondbacks yesterday. The viewing experience for live sports is going to change, and the way that we engage with it isn't just going to be like it sitting on a couch. We're actually going to be trying to talk to our broadcast, which is a really cool experience. So if you're thinking about getting into the creative world or anything that I do, there's a big need for people on the creative side that get business, and on the business side that have some creative edge. So if you're one of those type of people, please talk to me and I'll help you try to get into this space. Start engaging on social media and start creating. And if you don't know anything about Premiere, Photoshop, After Effects, anything, just find somebody who knows how to and start tag teaming that stuff together. That's it. I don't think we're doing questions, right?